Job search is never going to be the same again. I've got a ton to cover in this video. If you want to get a job in 2021, you don't want to miss this. How's it going, Nez Nation? Thank you so much for joining me in this video. I've got so much to cover. You want to make sure and watch this entire video the whole way through. Everything you need to know about the latest changes and what hiring managers are looking for. I'm going to go through step by step. So many changes since the pandemic has started. Let me tell you exactly what I'm going to go through first, and then we're going to go through each one in great detail. If you need a job in 2021, this is the ultimate video for you. You don't need to go anywhere else. Here are the things that I'm going to cover in this video. Step by step, I'm going to address these issues. The first thing that I'm going to address is how has the hiring process changed since the start of the pandemic? That's a big one. We're going to talk about that in depth. Number two, we're going to talk about what should you, job seekers, know about getting their resumes in front of recruiters or hiring managers for 2021. Oh my God, this one's a big one. So much has changed, you guys. Number three, how can job seekers get noticed in a world where almost everything is online? Number four, how can job seekers get recruiters to respond to them? This one's a big one right here. And then number five, how can job seekers make the case to be a remote worker? That's really, really important. And then last but not least, what is the most important thing to keep in mind right now as a job seeker? I'm going to cover that at the very end of this. So we're going to go through every one of these step by step, and let's just go ahead and jump right into, okay, number one, let's get right into this. How has the hiring process changed since the start of the pandemic? So obviously, the biggest thing that has changed since everything that has happened here, and that's something that you need to be prepared for in 2021, is that everything has gone remote. Everything has gone online. And so the traditional sort of process where you come into the office for rounds of in-person interviews, guess what, folks? That is gone. I've got an amazing video, literally a 30-minute training on the art and science of virtual interviews and video interviews. I'll leave a link to that in the description down below. You need to go check that out, and you need to go watch that immediately after this video. But, in-person interviews for the foreseeable future are completely obsolete. It's just not going to happen. A lot of these things can be done asynchronously for a lot of companies. Synchronous meetings and real-time interviews are still being done, but companies are doing things a lot differently. And here's the biggest example when it comes to the hiring process, what has changed. More and more companies are asking for you to submit a video resume. And the company then looks at it and then it gets back to you. So even the virtual interview process, a lot of that kind of real-time synchronous interview is changing and adapting and evolving into asynchronous, aka they're having you submit a video, maybe through HireVue or others, and maybe you can relate to this. Let me know in the comments down below if this is something that has happened to you. And so you're being asked to submit a video where they can watch and analyze it later. So guys, the importance of video branding, the importance of camera branding, the importance of communicating effectively, having a concise elevator pitch, if you will, that proposes value to the company and organization. It's essential right now. I've got a ton of videos. I'll leave them in the description down below of this video. I've got a ton of videos that address this. You have to go check each one of them out. Okay, let's go with the number 2 point, which is what should you know about trying to get your resume in front of recruiters and hiring managers for 2021. So here's the biggest mistake that people make. And I've said this to my clients. I've said this to my students. You know, I run a personal branding consulting agency where we help individuals just like you, brand themselves online, get their LinkedIn profile intact. I construct, architect brand new resumes from scratch for clients. If you're interested in working with me, I'll leave a link in the description down below. Here's the biggest mistake that people make when they're composing their resume, and something that you need to address in 2021 or else you're toast. And that is, stop putting all this extraneous information that kind of it's just trying too hard to show who you are and how amazing and great you are. You need to narrow it down. You need to be very, very concise. Nobody has time for that stuff. You being a volleyball expert, or you knowing how to, being a pole vaulter in 1975, nobody cares. That's the stuff that you talk about in the interview. They want things fast. You have to understand the end user psychology now of what hiring managers, recruiters, and HR directors are really going through right now. What that means is understand what they see every day. They see 1 million resumes a week. And so how are you going to stand out? If you've got this long, laborious resume that's filled with all this miscellaneous extra information about you that's just meant to kind of show how cool you are, how cool you think you are, you're in a lot of trouble. And so make sure that you keep it very, very concise. Make sure that you answer very, very specific questions. Keep it tight. Achievements, accomplishments that relate or align to the position that you're going for is key. That's how you're going to get your resume in front of the right people. And with your design, don't be too artsy or cutesy. Nobody has time for that anymore. Unless you're going for like a videographer or graphic design position, UI, UX. But I would even posit, as an executive career coach myself, I would even posit that is unnecessary. And that when you're trying to come up with this elaborate design for your resume, more often than not, it gets in the way of your message, and nobody has time for that. I want to share one thing with you. It used to be that people spent 6-7 seconds, reading a resume. Well, in 2021, that number has drastically dropped. I'm saying now 2 to 3 seconds. If you haven't grabbed their attention, they scan. They don't read anymore. If you haven't grabbed their attention in a powerful way with a document that is architected to their needs, hasta la pasta. It's over. Okay. Number 3, the number 3 point that I want to make that's going to help you get a job in 2021. I want to answer this question. How can you get noticed in a world where almost everything is online now? Well, obviously, you need to really create a powerful personal brand. And there isn't a better place for professionals and people looking for career transition and looking for jobs than LinkedIn. Now, I've got a ton of videos on my channel. I'll leave a playlist, and it's an entire playlist. I give keynote presentations. I'm a LinkedIn expert. I've been working as a LinkedIn consultant for a very, very long time, almost over 2 decades. So if you want to make sure that you check out the link in the description down below. I have an entire playlist, everything you need to know about profile, content, building your brand, how to use the new LinkedIn update that just came out, an entire tutorial on that. Go check that out in the description down below. Make sure that you get involved. Don't just create a LinkedIn profile and then just leave it there and then, ghost it and never, actually log in or never actually use the platform. Network. Don't think of LinkedIn as if it's Facebook. LinkedIn is the #1 business website for professionals. It's where the company decision makers operate. So you need to go where the action is. You need to participate. You need to engage. You need to provide value. Express, show, and demonstrate your thought leadership in your industry. That's going to be more powerful than even a resume. I've said this many, many times before. The resume is dead. Your personal brand, which is just really modern communications, understanding the online ecosystem, is everything. Okay, number 4 point that I want to address. How can you get recruiters to respond to you? A lot of people don't understand that, and it really hurts. I know it does. When you get ghosted by a recruiter or a hiring manager, don't take it personally. It's not a personal reflection of who you are. 99% of the time, it's just that these guys are super, super busy. And so don't take that personally. And also, I would really advocate, instead of going to the recruiter, go to the hiring manager, but also apply directly to the position. Apply directly to the position. No offense to recruiters, but, not only are they super busy, but recruiters, you got to understand that most recruiters, they really only get paid if you get a job, not the job that you love or the job that really means everything to you, but a job. There's a difference there. So apply directly to the position. But if you want to get really attention, this is all about communications, right? Instead of hounding them and saying, hey man, what's going on? Like, what happened? I never heard from you. And sometimes you don't may not realize, but your tone and even your frustration can bleed through in your emails and your in-mails on LinkedIn. Say something thoughtful. Don't be too pushy. Don't try too hard. Think of it like any kind of human relationship. The more that you nudge, the more that you feel clingy and that you're kind of pestering them, they're going to be turned off by that, right? So just send them a nice message, provide value to them, reach out to them on LinkedIn and say, hey, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope everything is going well. I thought this might be interesting to you. Share something to them that might be valuable, maybe an article. And then at the very end say, hey, by the way, I'm still interested if you're still hiring, or I'm still interested if you want to work together. Subtlety. Be a human being. Don't try to be something that you're not. Just be authentic, and that's how you can get people to respond to you. Be a human. Number 5, the next thing I want to address here is how can you make the case to be a remote worker? There is no doubt in my mind that online and remote work and working from home is here to stay. Don't want to sound like a broken record, but I've got a ton of links in the description, videos on my channel, on my brand, everything about finding work from home jobs, what are the best high paying online jobs, how to really the best tips working remotely, the best remote jobs. I've got a ton of links. I'll leave them in the description down below. First off, I would say this. Do not even mention that, if the job happens to be in San Francisco or New York, but you would rather live in Hawaii or, Puerto Rico. First of all, I would not mention, your preference for location or your preference for being a remote worker until after really the interest has been established. You've built a rapport with the recruiter or hiring manager, and make that ask toward the end when you've already created a relationship. Too many people, I see this all the time. Again, it goes back to being human. Too many of my clients, too many people, I see them do this time and time again. And what they do is they put everything out on the table on the very first date. Consider it like it's like dating. You got to be subtle. You got to not just reveal everything right at once. Just start talking about things, build a conversation, build a rapport, build a relationship. And then, before you draw that line in the sand, you really want to make sure that that individual sees the value in what you can bring to the company first. That's called leverage. When you have demonstrated that you're an asset, you have leverage and you can make those kind of demands, and more often than not, they will acquiesce to them. So if you want to make the case to be a remote worker, I would say, again, this is why communication, this is why your people skills, your human skills are more important than everything. Communicate in that service mindset. I've got a ton of videos where I talk about this. Be a human being, build a relationship, build a rapport, show them, don't tell them, show them that you're an asset. And that creates leverage, and that gets you what you want. Okay, number 6. This is the big one. This is the big dog. Pay very, very close attention to this. The number 6 point that I wanted to make and I wanted to address on how you can find a job and get a job in 2021. What do you think is the most important thing? What I think is the most important thing you need to keep in mind right now as a job seeker in 2021. First and foremost, you've got to make sure that you do everything in your power to build that natural, real, authentic confidence. I know more than anybody how frustrating, how debilitating, how just stressful it is trying to find a job right now, especially with everything that's been going on, especially with all these changes that are happening. Adaptation is so key. You have to adapt. But when you lose confidence, they smell it cooking. If you don't believe in what you're saying, if you don't have that body language, that energy, don't ever forget this, Nez Nation. People don't hire your accolades. People don't hire your degrees. People don't hire your credentials. They hire your energy. Don't ever forget that. It's the epicenter to your success. They can smell it cooking if you don't have that confidence. You need to do everything in your power to feel good about yourself. When you're talking about your experience, you need to do everything in your power to sell the most valuable product on planet Earth, you. Here's another piece of advice. Don't think of yourself. This is how you get confidence. This is how you really nail the interview. It just comes down to this one thing. I'm going to share it. Don't think of yourself as a job candidate seeking employment. Think of yourself as a business of one selling your services for a fair compensation. Why? Because that puts you in the mindset of making it all about them, not about yourself. Too many people in the job interview, they say, this is what I want. This is what my salary, this is my vacation time. This is what I desire, my requests. They make it all about them. This is what I'm good at. They make it all about them. Make it about the actual employer. Make it about the company. Make it about the organizations. How does what you do adapt and align with what they need? What problem can you solve? If you communicate it in that fashion, your confidence is going to naturally bleed in because you need to believe in yourself more than anybody else. And when you walk into that interview, that energy is palpable. It's infectious. So do everything in your power. If you get an interview opportunity right now, especially in Q1 in 2021 and beyond even, you got to understand with everything that's going on, the economic crisis, the pandemic, everything else, and even if you're watching this way in the future, all of that stuff is going to still linger, and the fragrance of this pandemic is not going anywhere for decades. It's going to change marketplaces for good, permanently. This will never change. Your energy is infectious. What you bring to the table, how you communicate, how you deliver will never change. That is palpable. That's what's going to get you the job. Bring the attitude of positivity. Be the eternal optimist. Believe in yourself. Communicate with conviction, and you're going to be right as rain in 2021. I hope you got a ton of value from this video, Nez Nation. It means the world to me that you stuck around. If you like this type of content, you got value from this, please smash that smash button. And we would absolutely love it if you'd subscribe and join us here at Nez Nation, because I'm bringing you brain-busting content every single week, all about how to earn more, grow faster, and stress less. Career advancement, online business, how to earn extra money online, start, grow, and maybe even scale your very own online business. All here. Make sure you subscribe down below. And please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know which one of these points made the most sense. Let me know if there's something else that you're like, Nez, I'd like to add this. I love turning my comment threads into this beautiful kind of community, into this beautiful collaboration where we can all help each other and inspire each other. That's the mission here at Nez Nation. We're bringing more humanness to this digitalness. It means the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. And please make sure you go check out these other videos right here, because they're going to complement and take you even further. Check out this video right here about how to really ace the art and science of the video interview, which is so important right now. Go check out these videos. I'll see you over there right now. Thank you.